أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد بن عبد الله وآله وصحبه أجمعين اللهم اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, once again I greet you with the greeting word of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. وَتَحِيَّةٌ مِّنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ مُبَارَكَةٌ طَيِّبَةٌ. Our topic today is about performing more than one umrah in one journey, in one trip. Means you perform umrah repeatedly. Also having multiple intentions in doing umrah. And traveling to Mecca for let's say for business or for work or for visits, and then perform umrah. These are three frequently asked questions. With the permission of Allah Ta'ala, we will try to explain them in a brief manner as we always do. So let us start with the first question. Is it permissible? Is it allowed to perform umrah repeatedly in the same journey? Means you perform more than one umrah in the same trip. Yes, my brother and sister in Islam, you can do that, as per the view of the majority of scholars, especially if you came from a far place, far country, for instance, and it may be difficult for you to be able to return to Mecca again. So you can perform another umrah during the same journey, during the same trip, for yourself or on behalf of someone else, such as your mother, your father, deceased relatives, or even friends, etc. So if you intended to perform umrah again while you are in Mecca after you performed the first umrah, then in that case you have to go to the nearest miqat outside the haram, such as at-Tan'im, what is known at-Tan'im, and or Masjid at-Tan'im, known as Masjid Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, because it was built in the place where she entered Ihram for Umrah during the farewell Hajj in the year 9th after Hijrah. Or you can go somewhere else, not necessarily at Tan'im, you can go somewhere else, another miqat, in order to get into Ihram for the other Umrah. Then from there you enter Mecca, do your tawaf, walk between Safa and Marwa, and then you cut your hair or you shave your hair. Evidence used to support this is the hadith of Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, narrated by Imam al-Bukhari and Imam Muslim, where she performed 2 umrah in the same journey upon the instruction of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as she did umrah with the Prophet. Then she took permission from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to do umrah again, and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam permitted her to do that by ordering her brother Abdurrahman ibn Abu Bakr to take her to At-Tan'im and then perform the second umrah. This is the evidence. So my brother and sister in Islam, when you perform your umrah, you arrive Mecca, you perform your umrah, and you intended to do another umrah, you can do that, it's allowed. The second question, can you do one umrah at a time on behalf of 2 people or more with one niyyah, one intention? The answer is no, my brother and sister in Islam, you cannot do that. You cannot do one umrah at a time on behalf of 2 people, such as your parents. For instance, you went to Tan'im with the intention to perform umrah for your parents, and you make intention to do one umrah for both of them. This is not allowed. You cannot do that, because the rituals of Hajj and Umrah can only be done on behalf of one person at a time. So it must be done as follows: one separate umrah on behalf of your mother, for example, and another separate umrah on behalf of your father, and so forth. This means you cannot combine them in one intention, in one niyyah. Rather, you go to the miqat to enter the ihram for each one of them. Means the umrah must be for each of them separately. You have to do it separately. You cannot combine them in one intention. I hope this is understood. The third question is, what is the ruling on someone who travels, who goes to Jeddah for business, for work, or for a visit, and then perform umrah? My brother, my sister in Islam, one of two scenarios should apply here. One of two scenarios should apply here. The first one, you intended to perform umrah before arriving in Jeddah. I'm traveling to Jeddah. You are traveling to Jeddah from wherever you are, outside Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, or even within Saudi Arabia, when you are in Riyadh, for instance. So you intended to perform umrah before arriving in Jeddah. So your intention in traveling to Jeddah was to work and perform umrah at the same time, regardless of which came first. This is the first scenario. From my country, I wanted to travel to Jeddah for business, and then I have intention to do my business and perform umrah at the same time. Is the first scenario is clear, inshallah. The second scenario, you intended to go to Jeddah, but you did not have any intention to perform umrah, right? Then when you are in Jeddah, after finishing your business, your work, you decided to perform umrah. This is the second scenario. So the first scenario, you want to go to Jeddah for business, but you have the intention to do both business and umrah. The second scenario, you want to go to Jeddah for business or visit without intention to perform umrah. After you finish what you are doing, you decided to do umrah while in Jeddah. So as regard to in the case of the first scenario, according to Islam, according to Sharia, you must enter ihram from the miqat, because your intention from your country, from wherever you are coming, is to do business and perform umrah. So you cannot pass the miqat. You have to enter ihram from the miqat. Then you finish your work in Jeddah and then perform umrah. But scholars always advise it's better in that situation for you to start with umrah. However, if you cannot start with umrah and it is hard for you to remain in your ihram in Jeddah for days, then scholars said you don't have to enter ihram from the miqat that you passed. You don't have to enter into ihram. But when you want to enter ihram for umrah after finishing your work, after finishing your visit, after finishing your business in Jeddah, then you must go, listen to this carefully, you must go out to the miqat. You have to go to miqat to enter ihram from there. Means you cannot enter ihram while you are in Jeddah. Your intention is to perform Jeddah, to perform umrah and do your business, right? This is the first scenario. So ulama said in that situation you cannot pass the miqat without ihram. So you will take your ihram from miqat. It's better for you to start, if you take your ihram, it's better for you to start with umrah first, in order to be able to concentrate on your work and remove your ihram. But if you cannot start your umrah first, you have to start your work first. Ulama said no, you can pass the miqat without ihram. But when you finish your work and you wanted to perform your umrah, you cannot enter ihram while you are in Jeddah. Rather, you have to go to miqat and enter ihram there. With regard to the second scenario, whereby you intended to go to Jeddah, but you don't have any intention to perform umrah, rather you decided to perform umrah while you are there. So in this case, you do not have to enter ihram from the miqat. You don't have to enter ihram from the miqat. You can just pass miqat, because you don't have originally intend to do umrah. You don't have any intention to perform umrah. And if you decide to do umrah after finishing your work in Jeddah, so ulama said you may enter ihram from your place in Jeddah, let's say from your hotel, because you decided to do umrah after finishing your work. You don't have intention to perform. You finish your job, you feel you have time, 1 day, 2 days, then you said, okay, let me perform umrah. So no, you can do that, and then you can enter ihram where you are in Jeddah, your house, in a house, in a hotel, wherever you are. As regard to the first scenario, no, you have to go to the miqat and enter ihram. So this is the main difference. So to summarize, my brothers and sisters in Islam, number one, you are allowed to perform more than one umrah in one journey, in one trip. Secondly, you cannot do one umrah at a time on behalf of 2 people or more at a time, as we said. You cannot have one intention for 2 people. You have to do it separately, as we explained. Number 3, if you go to Jeddah for work or visit and then you perform umrah, we say there are 2 scenarios as we explained at length. First, you have the intention to perform umrah and do business, then you cannot pass the miqat. You have to wear your ihram when you reach the miqat. If that will be difficult for you because you have to start your business first, they say no problem, you don't have to wear your ihram. You go to Jeddah and finish your job, but you have to go to miqat and enter ihram from miqat. You cannot enter ihram while you are in Jeddah. You cannot do that. The second scenario, you don't have any intention to perform umrah, and then while in Jeddah you decided to perform umrah, so no problem, you can enter your ihram in your place, wherever you are, let's say in the hotel or etc. I hope all this is clear, inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala. May Allah tabarak wa ta'ala grant us proper knowledge of our deen, our beautiful religion Islam. We ask Allah tabarak wa ta'ala to accept good deeds from us and to accept good deeds from you, and protect us all from the evil of the evil doers. هذا وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا والحمد لله رب العالمين.